Hey y'all, I'm working from my studio today and I did some very serious remnant Mod Podging, if you will. Turns out that when you undertake working with remnants, you're going to come into some obstacles, which include not having enough fabric, thinking that your fabric consumption math is correct. Sometimes it's off or it can be altered depending on the width of the fabric. But in this case, I had just enough that I was able to kind of splice together 6 pieces of remnant fabric to create this one cut unfold back neck facing piece. Kind of scary, but it worked out. It turned out that it was a hair short at the very top end, so I took a piece of bias and I ended up doing this kind of jigsaw puzzle moment. You can see here that it's got like that weird kind of slash in it, but what I did was I took the bias, I brought it right sides facing to the facing piece, so there's the seam join, and then I turned it up, pressed it, and it became the extension to kind of clean that edge of the top of the facing. So now what I have to do, since I've got the collar stand, back neck facing, and this becomes the lapel facing, all of which are fused. You can see that it's this really beautiful notch lapel. I could do a little bit better with the pressing and clipping, but since I'm really eager to kind of get the pieces together, we're gonna do that instead. So we're gonna roll it together, and it's gonna be great. So you can see I kind of did another one of those jigsaw puzzle moments with the self end of the coat as well. But hey, listen, I'm trying this zero waste approach because in the past I've just ended up with way too much remnant from projects, and sometimes it's these kind of like odds and ends cuts that don't end up working for other projects. So just gonna bring these right sides together, and my seam allowance, because I'm crazy, is 3/8. So I'm just gonna bring those two together and then continue down along either side of the facing, and we'll have the shell of the coat minus the sleeves. But I'm really excited because this is the same shape of the coat that I wore, the prototype that I wore in Japan over New Year's. last but certainly not least is turning both of those lapels and pressing them. You could always add an understitch along that front edge too, but once this is pressed, we'll get rid of some of that bounce and it'll be a beautiful lapel on a tailored wool coat. Yeah, it looks kind of swoopy, but I think once it's pressed, it'll sit a little nicer, nice and crispy.